Brodes Media.
It's a great fucking day. Any day that I get to hear Jalen Hurts at the podium being a sociopath again, it's glorious. Football's back. This guy doesn't give a damn about winning last year's championship. The focus is on the next one. It makes me so happy. It makes me so thrilled knowing this is my leader. Listening to Jordan Mailata, which we have audio of. Listening to Nolan Smith, which we have audio of. Hearing Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman so focused and so mature following a Super Bowl. That was great. This team has their heads screwed on as perfectly as you need them to following a campaign of success. Because it's not easy. Because there are a bunch of squads and players over the years that struggle. Because they smell themselves. Because they still look at themselves in the mirror as the GOAT, the best, the champion. But the truth is, new journey. The truth is, you got to prove it again. Because we flipped the calendar. And with the way that Howie's already mentioning ammo for next year's draft to potentially, let's be real, help this team, whether it's to go out and get some pass rush, whether it's just because you're always looking and seeing if you could help and give you an advantage somewhere around your roster. Like, this guy already has his wheels spinning. It's not even August. They just showed up to camp. They just got to the NovaCare complex. He's like, yeah, 13 picks in next year's draft. Now he's already trying to dance, baby. You got the best general manager who sets the tone underneath Jeffrey Lurie. You got Sirianni inspiring and giving you the standard cliche Nick Sirianni experience of togetherness, of family, of brotherhood. And then, well, everybody falls in line when Jalen is at the helm. It's so damn motivational that you can't even try and do your own thing. Doesn't work. You'll fail. Jordan Davis, holy hell, Peloton Jordan Davis might be the most easiest I'm buying stock thing ever. For about 3 months, I complained to all you that Jordan Davis may just not have it in his skill set to be a pass rusher. Now, I'm worried that he might not be able to stuff the run because he's so damn skinny and he lost all that damn weight. Like, still do your thing, big fella, but just incorporate that next added layer. Now, I don't know if he's even going to be able to stuff the run as well as we need him to, but he may be in that backfield much more. Which could be a benefit, by the way. I don't want to make it seem like that's, a bad thing, but I still want you to be able to stuff the run. But my point is, look at Jordan Davis. My point is, listen to Jordan Mailata right here, okay? Because this is the mindset of your leader, your leaders. But Jordan Mailata, this guy was undrafted who never played the sport of football. Now, he's a champion left tackle, and listen to the way that he's showing up this season, and think about how, internally, that keeps everybody in the right mentality and with the right attitude. I'm not trying to just blow smoke up everybody's ass and tell you this is the greatest thing in the entire world ever just because I love the Eagles. There is a real serious argument to be made that this organization is so lethal and so crazy good and so beautiful and so outstanding that there's a reason why. They're getting the appreciation from this fan base that they are, and we trust pretty much 99.9% of what they do. They are a well-oiled machine right now. Seriously, well-oiled. And this is just an example. Here's Mailata.
Sharpens iron, and I think we've done a great job
this offseason of just keeping the main thing. And the main thing was just moving on. That was the main thing this year, moving on. Because whatever we did last year, yeah, that's in the rearview mirror. And that doesn't matter anymore. We're not defending nothing. We're not the defending champs. We're the 2024 world champs. That's it. We're not defending. Sorry. We're not. So I don't like hearing like, oh, we're the defending champions. We're not defending nothing. We just won the title. And now we've got to go win it again. Prove it all over again. And that's the mentality this team is going to have. We're not here to prove anything to anyone else but ourselves, and we know the mission. We're mission focused. So that's our approach, and I'm so proud of everyone here because they're buying into what we're selling.
Dude, I mean, I got goosebumps. Seriously. That is everything you ask of a team, of a leader, of a locker room, of a culture following a championship. Now, I don't know how this is going to play out. Truth be told, there are reasons why it's extremely difficult to get back to the top of the mountain after you do it. Off-season's a little bit different, shorter, the partying, the whole thing. So it is hard to rev it back up and to reach that full potential. But all I can ask is hearing these type of comments with where we are right now compared to the alternative. Like, I don't give a damn that we won. I don't care that we are the most recent champion. It's a clean slate. There's no champion for this season that we are about to embrace until we fucking win it again. I can only ask for this type of attitude heading into a year. Where it falls, it falls. And when it's rightful times to criticize, we'll criticize. When there's rightfully times to appreciate and love them and just say this is the greatest in the world, we'll do that too. But I was inspired with goosebumps and hair sticking up on my forearms listening to what Jordan Mailata just had to say, because he's the mouthpiece of what is being sold. And you can hear it himself. Listen, if there were people not buying in, not that he'd throw anybody under the bus, of course, but I don't think it would be all like, hey, I'm so proud of where we all are. Look at what's going on with Micah Parsons and Jerry. Look at what's going on with Terry McLaurin in Washington. Look at Dart throwing a pick six for his first touchdown in the Giants camp. We know if there was BS. We know if there's slop. And truth be told, if there is slop, it doesn't stop it when the rest of the gang is all on the same page. You just saw that example with Bryce Huff, because he was crying and moping and knew since day one he wasn't going to fit this culture. But even if there's one rotten egg, so be it. They got everything else so aligned that, quite frankly, it doesn't even matter. But I'm so in love thinking about where this group is. You ain't got to worry about drama. You don't have to worry about anything. All you got is some crazy, wild Jalen Hurts quotes that everybody feels to be all numb. When you hear it, it's like, I don't even understand this guy. I don't get it. But this is what wired athletes who are elite do. They don't make sense. You can't wrap your head around it. You can't process it, because if everybody thought that way, then it wouldn't be unique, then it wouldn't be rare. I almost wonder with the whole Nick Saban thing. Listen, when you go to Alabama, and I know at one point he switched and he ended up going to Oklahoma and the whole story, but when you go to Alabama, when you win a championship, when you're playing for the national championship, what do you think Nick Saban drills into their head for spring football? You know, you get a couple of months, boom, you're right back into the thick of it. Where do you think your mind goes? And you got Devontae, right? You got the Georgia Bulldogs that are doing the same damn thing. Nolan Smith, that injury, he had to deal with it. Look at where he's at now. Nakobe Dean. You know, I'm just saying. These are examples of guys. Look at how they're holding themselves throughout the beginning of training camp. There is a feel. There is an energy. There is a focus. And I listened to Lane Johnson a bit throughout the day, and there's been so many great and excellent interviews throughout the last 24 hours, and I can't wait to continue to listen to them throughout the entire week. And, You know, he's just like, look, in years past, in 2017 we won, 2018, we were trying to prove that we were that same type of group, and we were trying to do too much, and we didn't just let the game come natural. And I'm paraphrasing, but it was like we were always constantly trying to show that we are 2017. And at times, well, it didn't work out that way. And in 2023, you had a great response to the loss in 22 until you had that epic collapse. So he has different experiences with others in this locker room of some wildness. Okay, well, how do we go about it this time around? To me, so far, I think they've knocked it out of the park because I feel it. There's a difference between when you say it and when you feel it and when you know it's there. Jalen Hurts is the perfect example and description on why it feels so real. It's the way he carries himself. It's the way he's still on the practice field when nobody else is, working on running sideline to sideline. It's the way that if you don't show up prepared the best way you can to reflect the way Jalen is attacking his craft, you're screwed. And that's why I always laugh. And listen, I love the WIP afternoon show. I love Spike. I love Fritz. I do. I love them. They're fucking awesome. But they always say they hate when people bring up the fact that, well, what does Jalen do well? And an answer is win. And they don't like that. They don't like win. They like throwing the football a certain type of way. They like that. But the truth is, that's all he does. And listen to what he had to say during his press conference today. This was tweeted out by Eagles Nation at 12:15. Here's the full quote. Almost has 500,000 views at the time of me uploading this episode. Jalen Hurts on if he will, quote, open up his playing style more now that he's won a Super Bowl. Quote, no, I've went a very long time being told I got to do it a certain type of way. That didn't get me the win. When I did it how everybody told me to. When you put so much energy into personal performance, you kind of lose sight of the main thing of winning. Since the loss in 22, it's been my main motivation to find ways to win, regardless of how it looks. I just want to find ways to win. And that's the mentality I want this team to have. How you hear that and think to yourself, oh, man, Lamar, oh, Josh, this guy is strictly standing on business. And he's not one of those fools that, again, says things publicly and then he starts to show signs of it that it's not true. Like, there are guys that say, I just want to win. And if they threw 12 of 28 and they won the football game 14-12, they'd be bitching and crying about how poor he was, blah, blah, blah. You know what Jalen would say? I got to be better for sure. We win the football game? I can't wait for who's up next. Like, he would take pride in winning that game, even with some very uncomfortable throws and poor decision making. And it would be, did we find a way to win? Did I have the ball in the final drive? Did we score and put up 7 to win the game without any clock left? Okay, we were down what? Okay, and we came back and did what? Okay, I don't care about what my stats said. Did we win? Okay, shove it up your ass, right? Like, that's the way that Jalen Hurts attacks. There's other quarterbacks that talk the talk, but they don't actually walk the walk. You know it's real with Jalen. I just can't wait to see him take the field in real meaningful games. I also can't wait for this upcoming Eagles season. Whenever there's a victory Sunday, and really when there's a disappointing Sunday, truth be told, it's not just going to be victory Sundays, but I'm going to be going outside and smoking an Emilio cigar the second the clock hits 0. It's either going to be the most enjoyable cigar because it's going to come after a fat dub, or it's going to be, hey, I need this because I'm aggravated due to the fact that the Eagles let one slip, which I don't anticipate very often. But this upcoming football season, the amount of Emilio cigars that I am going to smoke is going to be outrageous because, well, Old school roots, new school attitude. There's nothing better. And there is only one cigar to smoke. That's an Emilio cigar. Locally owned, third generation, made at the Fábrica Oveja Negra in Nicaragua. And what you can do right now is check out the link down below in the description. And you can use promo code Brodes10 for 10% off your purchase. Do not be a fool. I had some listeners reach out to me and say, Brodes, I've hopped on the Emilio cigar train. Thank you so much. Every time I hit the golf course, I bring them. My friends love them. My family love them. And I say, I know, I've been telling you for a little bit of time now. I've been pressing you. Make sure you join the Emilio Cigar family for a reason, because there is nothing better to touch your lips outside of an Emilio cigar. So make sure you check out the link down below in the description. So do we want to talk about some things that happened on the field? Cooper DeJean at safety. Look, there's some things that we can discuss. We know Vic Fangio is working through a trial and error and versatility thing and just messing around with certain concepts, and there's going to be a million that are thrown at the wall. We understood heading into this training camp that they want to expand the role for Cooper DeJean and see exactly how he's going to be able to handle each position out there. We did see him at safety. We saw Jihad Campbell out there as well. And remember, when the defensive coordinator spoke previously, it was, we're hoping to get him out, or was it Howe? He was one of the main three top dogs. Sirianni was one of those three. And they talked about Jihad Campbell right after the draft. Sure, there were a couple of red flags that forced other teams to sound the alarm and say he's not worth it. The Eagles took the gamble and said, nah. Landon Dickerson fell because of some issues too. Now he's one of the best left guards in all of football. So let's make sure we get the premier talent, and we'll work on the other things that we iron out with the physical standpoint. Here he is, before August. They said August. It's before August. He's out there on the football field. Tyler Steen was your starting right guard, but who did not practice was Kenyon Green and Jalen Carter. Nothing serious from my understanding, but Tyler Steen did get the nod at right guard. I anticipate that anyway, and I think I even saw Zach Berman tweet out there, unless he's not there, there's no news, which implies that it's most likely Tyler Steen's gig, and he's running with it until something else happens. Jeff Kerr mentioned that Uche stood out to him in practice, so that was the only person I saw, Jeff Kerr of CBS Sports, mention Uche for whatever it's worth. I'm just kind of giving you some bullet points on what transpired on the field. Right now, for me, though, it's just about vibe. It's just about the energy. It's about the mojo. It's about the excitement. It's about seeing everybody at the NovaCare complex and thinking about Jordan Davis and what he can do. And I got to give him a lot of credit, man. Seriously, Jordan Davis looks like a totally different person. And sometimes we do this a lot when we know someone needs to shed LBs and they need to get into better shape. But there was a side-by-side on year one and where he is now. The Peloton Davis joke is going to stick with me all year, but that Peloton sure as did kick him a new asshole. He is so seriously skinny, and it's intriguing. It's intriguing. Do I worry about how well he'll stuff the gap now that he thinned out? Yes and no. I think it could only benefit him, though, right? You know what I think is going on here? There is a fantastic way about attacking from Howie Roseman with the Brandon Grahams, the Fletcher Coxes, the Lane Johnsons, the now Jordan Mailata is sort of entering that wave. You're watching the youth really pick up on what it means to last long in this league, what it means to stay in a city like Philadelphia for a long career. They see the winning that's happening and wants to be a part of it, not just a part of it, but be a staple of the consistent success. And when you are around those type of winners, I mean, CJGJ, right? That dude runs his mouth 24/7. I believe he was on The Pivot. He was on the podcast of, oh, man, his name's escaping me. Ryan Clark. I believe that's where it was. And he said he wanted to send out an apology to the Eagles locker room for running his mouth, essentially saying that they'll never win a championship again without him in the room. And then he sort of took some of his words back and said, I can't disrespect Lane Johnson like that. Lane Johnson's been doing it before me. Lane Johnson's been around putting in that work for a while. And it's just that respect. And if CJGJ, someone who's never going to apologize for anything, who's always going to run his mouth and never stop yapping and all that, if he's going to be stopped in his tracks to reflect back on the Lane Johnson experience after he leaves, think about what it would mean to a Jordan Davis who has the not CJGJ personality or any of these guys, right? But Jordan Davis is almost an example of, one, the type of kid he is, because I do think that he's grown up and blossomed and matured over the years from where he was to where he is now, just from an individual level. But that all stems from who you are surrounded by, who you are working with, who you are studying, who you want to be molded like. And to accept that and to see the circumstances around him and for that to motivate, also the 5th-year option thing was always up in the air. Maybe it wasn't for the organization, but it sure was more than any other 5th-year option I can remember over time. Like, there were reasons to debate it to some level, and that maybe inspired him and gave him an extra push too. So he's using all that. It, again, is an example of how great the Eagles organization is, that someone like Jordan Davis can consume and soak it all in like a sponge, what's around him, to be this version of Jordan Davis. And I'm buying full stock. I really didn't know if he can be more of a pass rusher. Now, with that frame, I think there's going to be a lot more to this skill set and something that's a lot more intriguing, and it's great. It really is great. Some other things to point out. Ringo got beat twice. Now, one of those was on a beautiful pass from Jalen Hurts. No surprise to A.J. Brown. That type of stuff is going to happen. Ringo is still learning on the job, and this is day one of camp being on the field, so you're going to make mistakes, right? Not that I want to give the Giants any sort of credit, but I saw Brian Dable was speaking to the media, and one of the things he said is, are you going to constantly make the same mistakes, or do you flush it after you make a mistake? And there's truth to that, right? So if Ringo's going to get beat, okay, that's fine. Are you constantly going to get beat, or are you going to learn from the mistakes that you made when you got beat? So when it becomes the first game of the regular season, when we start talking about, really getting into Thursday night football, opening day, Dallas coming to town, and it's real now. And it matters, and the wins and losses are hitting the standings. Where are you? So it's okay if you get beat on day one. You got beat by Terrence Marshall. Gotta be honest with you. That one, not so much. I could maybe give you a pass on the other one. Just something to monitor for whatever it's worth. And with that, how about let's play this. I want to play some Nolan Smith audio that I find awesome. So this was on the WIP midday show with Joe Giglio and Hugh Douglas. It's about 1:15. This is an exchange on the type of season Nolan Smith is trying to have for this upcoming campaign.
What's the number? You know what I'm asking?
Yeah.
When he says what's the number, he's referencing how many sacks. I'll continue.
What's the number?
I can't tell it out loud.
Yeah, all right, then well, you can tell me in the break, because I have a number in my head.
What's your number?
I'm thinking 10 to 12.
That's a good number.
Yeah.
But that's on the low side.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
I like that.
I respect.
I ain't saying nothing else.
No, you don't have to. And you know what? Now I have to let everybody in, because everybody probably don't understand the conversation.
Don't let them in.
Okay,
don't let them in.
I
Just keep it like
I
that.
can't
Keep
let
it
y'all.
like that.
All right, maybe I could speak without letting everyone in. What was your high? Was it 15?
15.
Well, that's the goal then. You got to beat Hugh Douglas. I mean,
See,
you got to beat Hugh.
Pop.
Yeah.
They call me Pop. Yeah,
you got to beat the old man. I mean, you got to beat Hugh.
Oh, no, man. I don't never call them old men, man. They respect the game, and it's always going to respect you.
Appreciate you. See, now that don't work like that around these parts. They call me old every chance.
Come on.
Oh man, no man. I learned a lot from the veteran guys and stuff like that. So I really appreciate y'all bringing me on too.
Oh no, man!
Oh,
You got it in you, man, and you're gonna be fine. I'm still curious. Like I said, I'm gonna ask you off there. I want to know what the number is, because that's you really came on towards the end of the year. You really did.
Yeah, he did, man. I really enjoyed Nolan Smith, and I had no idea that he was going to be able to pop off like that. I know Brandon Graham still is a mentor to him, and based off everything BG had to go through in the early stages and whatnot. But a few things there. One, I know this may sound little, but the way that he respected Hugh there and just talking about veterans and what they've been through and how they set the tone before us and the players that are playing now, the active guys, and just the maturity and professionalism of really understanding the importance of what these guys have done and their respected careers and what they've learned and the knowledge and the understanding of being in the trenches. And it, again, it's one big circle. Every time I go down one lane with this conversation, it flows back to something else with this group. But there's a reason why someone like Jordan Davis, is able to be where he is now physically, because of the respect that is given to everybody that was talking to him over the years. And again, just the willingness to learn, the willingness to adapt, the willingness to want to understand what it takes to get to the next level and to be really special in this league, not just good in this league. And hearing Nolan Smith respect Hugh Douglas there, small, tiny, but it's a big part of the character. And something that I love so much about this group right now is the character of the guys. Everything we read about Jahad Campbell, everything we know about Jalen Hurts, everything we know about Lane, everything we know about Mailata, everything we know about a lot of these guys, man. Like, I love it. Quinyon Mitchell and the way that he was so tied together emotionally to Toledo and everybody was willing to give him a shot, where he's not just going to move, pack up his stuff and go to a big-time SEC school. He's going to stay with the people that are special to him, that gave him a shot, that gave him the opportunity. All that is important, and those values is something that he goes down with. You know, when it's time to say goodbye and thank you for this life, you take that to the coffin, and you need to have special people like that around you and in the NovaCare complex to build the sustainability. And this is that, man. This is that. Now, can he get 15 sacks? Remember, he's coming off of what transpired last year with the injury. 15 sacks, I'd be blown away. I like the 10 number, 10, 10 and a half. I was going to ask everybody maybe some confirm or deny questions, if you will. I'd come up with a statement. Nolan Smith will get 10 and a half sacks. You can confirm it or deny it, that type of style. And 10 and a half was the number that I was going to land on personally. I have no idea what numbers are actually set at or anything like that. That's a good number. You start talking about 13, 14, 15, holy hell. We'll see, though. It's awesome, isn't it? It really is awesome. Can't believe it. This is the cycle of being a crazy NFL fan, as we all are. We're excited that everyone showed up. We're excited everybody's on the practice field. Then by week 2 of this thing, we're banging our head against the wall saying, I can't deal with the preseason crap. I can't deal with any of the nonsense. Get me to October. Get me to September. Get me to real football. It changes real quick. Right now, we all have our hand in the dirt, and we're screaming, and we're pumped, and we're getting all thrilled over just silly quotes and comments about not putting on the Super Bowl ring, and it's no longer time to appreciate being a champion and all that. To this stinks, and I'm sick and tired of watching the rookies get Rita's water ice and collect all the pads of the veterans. It's time to really play football. That change happens very quickly. I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow I have a pod up saying, all right, screw training camp. It's time for the real deal. It's just how it goes. What else is fantastic in life outside of football is my lawn. And one thing I love about going to the experts over at Green Lawn Fertilizing is how knowledgeable they are. They sit you down, they educate you, they teach you about the treatments that they are doing to your lawn and why they're doing it, the timing of each one, the importance of when they do it. And it really is remarkable to see the journey and the progress that has been made over the last few months. And if you were like me and you didn't pay attention to your lawn and you weren't necessarily sure exactly on how to do it, I didn't want to DIY it, screw it up, and now I'm doing all sorts of dumb things. Well, I went to the ones that know best. I went to the ones that have all the information, and you should as well. Join me by going to Green Lawn Fertilizing, and what you can do is click the link down below in the description, and you will get 50% off your first 2 treatments. That is 50% off your first 2 treatments when you sign up, clicking the link link down below. It'll tell them that Brodes sent you. It's a no-brainer. And it really did change the entire personality of my home. It gave it life. It gave it beauty. It gave it a smile, if you will. And you need to make sure your home is doing the same. Green Lawn Fertilizing. Check it out now. Okay, with that, I'll leave you with this thought. It was a take that I never really consumed too much, but I did hear it. And it was worried about the youth. Worried about maybe some of these young kids that come in and win a championship right away. Are they fully understanding on how hard it is to win a championship? Right? There are guys that play for years and years and years, don't get close. There are guys that get one crack at it. There are plenty of players that, you know, are lucky enough to have two cracks at it, but maybe they lose both and they lose sleep over it and the whole thing because it's that hard to win. Are you understanding of the journey that you went on? And it wasn't just an adrenaline rush or just an awesome ride to start out your career. It's not that easy. You do know how hard this is, right? You do know the type of work that you got to put in to do this, right? And the reason why I'm not scared about it is there's a reason why you won a championship with this youth. Cooper DeJean didn't half-ass the offseason and then go, all right, who cares? All right, let me just walk in and see if I can compete in the Eagles defense with Vic Fangio. You got to bring it. And now Vic Fangio wants you to have an expanded role. You know you got to do it more. You know you got to even add more to your repertoire, add more to your work ethic, add more to the way that you are approaching your offseason. With the championship parade, with the celebrating and all. And I guess the fear is, well, he was partying so much, the DMs were flooded, and he just thinks, hey, I'm riding a high. What are they going to do? Bench me? But didn't I mention the character? Didn't I mention how these guys are in the right mindset, the right type of people, the right sort of values? Do you think Cooper DeJean is going to disrespect Jalen that way? Because one thing that Nick Sirianni does extremely well is make sure that everybody is collectively pushing the same exact way. And they're all following the leader. And they're all together as one. And if you screw up, you're hurting the others around you. And you do not hurt the others around you because we all have a common goal. And we all have to do our best to reach that common goal. And if you don't hold your end of the bargain, you're screwing everybody else. And that sinks into the wall at the NovaCare complex. So then you are implying that Cooper DeJean is valuing the DMs and the partying more than he is being there for the brotherhood, being there for Jalen Hurts, being there for Vic Fangio, being there for Jalen Carter, being there for Q, being there for Reed Blankenship. And I don't think that's the type of makeup that he has, or else you wouldn't have won a championship, because he did do something to win that. And here's the other spin on it. Instead of saying, hey, this is easy, I can just go about it and win, it's probably more along the lines of, I got one already. Now, I can put myself into a category of all time. If we continue this success here, we continue to crack down at this, and we go to NFC championship games year in and year out, I can do this 3 or 4 times. I got a whole future ahead of me. Let's get to work. Let's see how many I can put on my shelf. Or he's got Jalen's switch now. Because when you hear Jalen 24/7, that's going to sink into the DNA and fabric of the team. Maybe now that you're back at the NovaCare complex, that BS doesn't even matter anymore. I call it BS. I call it Super Bowl championship of 2024 BS. But maybe he falls into that category. I'm not worried about the youth. Q, you think Q all of a sudden isn't going to want to prove his worth after being disrespected on the top 10 rankings of cornerbacks? Come on, man. They clearly have a certain switch, or else you don't win a championship with them to begin with. So I'm not worried about it. And Nick Sirianni talked about their conditioning tests and how they were switching some of the models up here with some of the camp just to make sure everybody's in shape. And he knew what type of offseason was, and he knew what type of buttons he had to push to make sure everybody was intact. Everybody was where they needed to be. So head coach has it under control from that angle. Got to be prepared for day one, and it seemed like everybody was. While the rest of the NFC East is burning down. It's incredible. All right, with that, thank you all so much for letting me ramble about the excitement of the Eagles starting. And again, in about a week, I'll be miserable that it's not real. But one step at a time. This is the first step in getting football back, and just appreciate the cycle that we go through. Thank you guys all so much. I appreciate it, and I will talk to you all on the next one.